Okay, today we're doing something very fun, and it's also something that you can give out to people on their porches to show them you're thinking about them, but make sure it's no contact. We are doing friendship bracelets. So get yourself string of any kind that is colorful or not colorful, depending on what you have. Somebody might have embroidery floss like this at your house, or if you have any yarn you use for crafts, any of those things will work. Cut yourself long pieces, and eventually, when you have a bunch of colors, you're going to tie a knot in the top like that, which you do by making a loop and sticking the end of the loop through the loop, and it will tighten like that. It's basically the first step in tying your shoes. You're doing that to make a knot. But I don't want that knot because I have that knot right here. And when you tighten it up, you can either leave a tail that's longer than that, or you can trim it the way I did with little scissors. So it helps out a clipboard. If you don't have a clipboard, you can easily tape it to a flat surface. You can use a safety pin to pin it to another fabric, like my weird tablecloth here that I'm using as a backdrop. I could safety pin this to that and it would hold it still. The idea is that you keep this as steady as possible as you're working on it so that you can get nice knots. Then you're going to want to arrange your threads in the pattern that you want them. I had this done and then I moved it, so I can do it again. I had gray, the neon pink thing, white, the neon green, and then white, pink, gray. Okay, when you have it spread out like this, you're going to have a working color and a not working color. And you're going to do the same thing you did at the beginning, except you're going to tie your string together. So with my two strings, one's going around like this and making a loop, and then I'm tying that up once to the top. I'm going to do it again. You have your two pieces, you make a loop around, so you bring this one over this one so you have a little space like that. Then you go underneath, grab that working thread again, and tie it up. Now if you want to, you can just do two colors and then that's all you do. Make your loop, it's hard when they're long. Make your loop like that with one over the other color. Grab that gray again and pull it up, and if you just keep doing that forever, you will have a line of gray going down, and then you can switch which color you're making your loop with and then have a line of pink going down. Up to you, but I'm going to stop with that color for now and move on to my white. Make a loop, tie it up, and I'm going to give you a link in the description box that will show step by step how to make these knots. So if you're having trouble seeing how I'm doing it, you can see a diagram, because diagrams I find help me a lot and maybe they'll help you. I'm going to move on to another color, make a loop with my green. Maybe, there we go. Tie him up. And then do it again. Put that to the side. And now I'm on to white again. And this little knot is essentially the same knot you're doing when you tie your shoes, except instead of pulling both of the strands like you do when you tie your shoes, you're just pulling on one. So if you might find it easy to practice with a shoelace because it's bigger, go for it. You just would be tying your shoes a little bit differently that day. That's fine. And then we'll do the last gray color here. One knot and two knots. Put that to the side, and it's hard to see it yet, but what I have is a line of knots right there. And once I've got that, and I have my threads in the order that I use them in, I'm going to start at the end again, over here on the left, and start tying knots again. So this time, my working yarn is the white yarn. The first time it was the pink, and the gray was my first color. There's that. Here is my green. And you're just going to do this until your bracelet is the length that you want it. Now you might say, I hate this. This is frustrating. I don't want to use this. And your bracelet might end now. That's fine. You can just then braid what you have left. A lot of people can do braids. You can do fancy braids instead of tying knots. This is like intro to macrame here. You don't have to do it this way. You can do just a fancy braid, and if you make a mistake, untie your knot. If your knot's a little tight, you can get a pin or a little needle out of the sewing kit that I imagine you found this embroidery floss in, and use it to pick your knot free if that helps you. Or you can just call it art and leave it, which is what I would do because that's me. So I'm tying another knot, and I'm on my last strand here. And it's hard to tell, but I'm starting to get a pattern there. And what I'm going to do is work on this for a while, and then I'll come back and show you. I've been working on this for a while. As you can see, I'm starting to get a little length. The way that we're doing it, we're making diagonal lines like that, but you can also make chevron patterns and a bunch of other different designs. So I will link some different patterns in the description box so that you guys can try a bunch of things out. If you keep going with this, eventually you'll get a bracelet length size thing, and then you can give it away to a friend, or you can wear it yourself, or you can use it for a bookmark, which is what I bet I'll do with this.